Hey, how you doing? My name is Art, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a different type of video today. Um, by the time this video comes out, I'll be on vacation. So, what I decided to do is that every day on my vacation, I will read a graphic novel, comic book graphic novel, or trade paperback, however you want to call it. I'll do one every day, and I'll read one a day. Um, and I'll try to give you a little synopsis of that book in case you have not read the story or you have not experienced that story in a long time. And I'll tell you my thoughts about it. I haven't done this in a long time, so let's get to it. Okay. This book that I read, it's fun. It's actually it's weird and it's offbeat. It started off in X Force, in the 90s, late 91, I believe. X Force, was it 91? 90 or 91, I can't remember. Or it's maybe, I can't remember. Sorry. Normally I would remember stuff like that, but I don't remember. So what happened, Rob Liefeld created this group called X-Force that was led by Cable. After many changes in the book and everything else, the sales, of course, they try to do everything they can to make X-Force a really awesome book. And I was reading it for religiously for a while, until after a while I looked up and I'm like, this is kind of boring. And I'm going to stop it. And I stopped it. Fast forward, and I was like, what, mid to late 90s, I think? Something like that. And then all of a sudden, a new creative team was chosen and took it into a new direction. A new direction. A direction that you would never think of a mutant book would be. What they did, they took mutants and said, what if we make mutants like celebrities doing combat missions for profit, and they turn to celebrities? Kind of weird. Where have we heard that before? I wonder where we heard that before. But of course, there's probably millions of stories like that. And so what happened is, instead of using the normal mutants or beast style mutants, they created a whole bunch of new mutants. And every now and then they put current mutants in to help tie it together. And then after a certain amount of time, X-Force ended and it became Ecstatic. This is the collected edition, volume 1. When I first heard about this, I looked at this book, I said, oh my gosh, what the hell? And let's say, screw this shit, I ain't gonna read it. Then all of a sudden, it became kind of popular. And as soon as it started becoming popular, a lot of people a lot of interest in. And so what happened, some of those books are kind of hard to get at that time. They were kind of hard to get at that time. And I think, I want to say it was like around 2004 or something like that. Was it 2004 or something? Yeah. Well, X-Force was in 91, naturally. $2,001. Ecstatic, I believe. So, okay. So what happened was I looked at this. So it started off in, X Force 116 to 129, then Ecstatic 1 through 5. And then after that, I think it just went over. Now, when I first read this, I was like, I said, why does it look familiar? Why does artwork look familiar? Because Mr. Allred, Mike Allred, created this book called Madman, which had that same simplistic art style. And the thing is, I never really appreciated it until recently, because I look at this, I'm like, wow, I love this simple art style. It's not super flashy like some people, and it's very simple. It looks very, very simple, and it still conveys the story. So imagine the idea of mutants as the Suicide Squad, so to speak, where someone always dies and there's always new recruits. Instead of being criminals, these guys are put together as a team. They go on a mission. They die. Of course, it's all videotaped. They die. New members come up. Tensions within the group and all this other stuff. And they play off like celebrities. Reality TV shows and stuff like that. It is totally freaking amazing. Wow. I mean, I just know it took me 3 days to read this. It took me 3 days to read this. And they're bankrolled by some rich entrepreneur kind of dude, kind of like a douchebag kind of guy, who wants to be hip and stuff like that. But for the most part, after reading this, it's kind of funny. Some of the names are pretty cool: Anarchist, Vivisector, Mr. Sensitive, or Orphan. You go girl. I'm like, you go girl, really? What kind of name? At first, I was like, what kind of name is that? And I was like, oh my gosh. Then Fact. I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course, it's a slight love story as well. One of the things about it was kind of funny. They was doing they were doing it at a press conference, and Cannonball and Boom Boom from the actual X Force came in and tried to wreck some stuff. One thing that was kind of funny is that this scene right here was aped from a real life event years ago. I think the kid was from Cuba, I think, or something like that. And what happened is his father wanted his son back, but the mother or one of his family members took him to America to have a better life. And the scene of like the American soldiers ripping the kid away to bring him back to his father. It's kind of that part was kind of funny. Then like X Force 120, Wolverine makes an appearance just so they can help with sales of the book, and even that minute. And if you read the panel, it says, I'm only doing this to boost sales, which is funny because it did. And I think this was the only book of this run I've actually bought. I think. I don't know. But it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. It was pretty funny. I'm reading this, and I am laughing. Then of course Darwin Cook, a legendary artist, Darwin Cook, drew a couple episodes here and there. before he passed away. RIP to the VIP. And this Pete Milligan guy, the guy who wrote Ecstatic, very, very. I mean, tell you the truth, after reading this, there was not one boring issue in this book right here. Not one. The only boring issue was called Brotherhood, which was a tie into something else. But other than that, it was funny, had some action in it, and a lot of other laughs and stuff like that. Actually, they did a giant size Ecstatic recently, like a one shot recently. And that was like, wait, no, was that? So wait, I bought this. Did I buy this in this year's comic book day, in May during free comic book day? I think I did. The one good thing about like a lot of the Marvel trade paperbacks, they give you all the bonus stuff like character sketches and drawings. How the process came about. Incentive covers, different covers, and everything. Like right here. And some people that didn't use, but of course, it's kind of funny. But anyway, here's another Darwin Cook. It's really cool. I mean, this was really funny, really amazing. And then I just realized this Silver Surfer, Mike Elred, was the artist. And I passed this one up. Written by Dan Slott and Alred. So I'm definitely going to pick up that. But this book right here, if you had the actual run of this, give it another read. You'll laugh your ass off, in my opinion. If you never read it, pick up this trade paperback. If you have the Marvel app, the Marvel Unlimited app, they should have the whole run in there. And other than that, this book was like, these collected editions like $40, but since it was free comic book, not free comic, it was free comic book day, so I got it for 20% off. So that's the only reason why I bought it. I always wanted this, but buying it for 20% off is a lot better than buying it at full price. But other than that, that is it for this Ecstatic book. Very exciting, very good. I mean, I don't have any complaints about this book. I really don't. The writing was very good, in my opinion. The artwork, even though it's simple, even though it's very simplistic style, in my opinion, I call it simplistic because it's just plain, in my opinion. Not plain, but it's simple, if you can understand that. But anyway, let me know if you read this, Ecstatic or Ecstatic Run, or if you remember it. Let me know down below what you thought about it. Let me know what you thought. If you want a chance to read it, let me know. I want to hear some discussion of what you thought about this run. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I should go. And I'll see you in the next one.